What's up and welcome back to Kind of Funny's Batman in Review. That's right, we're ranking, reviewing, and recapping every Batman movie. I guess this is a TV show here in the cinematic universes. We will not be reviewing every Batman show of all time, though. That would be insane, Andy Cortez.
Are you talking about like Gotham or
yeah, Gotham, all the cartoons? It'd be wild.
Oh, of course,
it would be wild. You know,
too much.
But here we are doing the Penguin because we had to. It's part of the Matt Reeves. What's it called? The Batman Epic Crime Saga, which we all made fun of. We all laughed at when they said that name after the Batman Part 1. It's like, okay, Matt Reeves. But after this, they might be cooking. They might be cooking, Nick.
Still a terrible name. But the show's good.
But like I was saying, this is Kind of Funny's in Review. Each and every week, we rank, review, and recap different movie franchises. If you like that idea, you should become a Kind of Funny member. If you are, you get the shows ad-free. You can watch live as we record them, and you get a daily exclusive Greg Way. You can also be a Patreon producer like Drummer Boy, Casey Andrew, James Hastings, Nathan Lamoth, and Carl Jacobs. Thank you so much. We appreciate you very, very much. And if you want to show your support in a very different way, you could look as cool as Nick Scarpino, who's wearing the new hat.
Visual Triangle merch drop is here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a limited time merch drop, so head over to kindoffunny.com/store and check it out. It's cool.
I need that long sleeve shirt.
It's nasty. It's a heavyweight long sleeve shirt. I made it heavyweight because I'm a little cold all the time, and it's starting to rain outside. So
stop you right there, Nick. All right.
Sure.
It's a heavyweight long sleeve shirt. It's not a crew neck, but it does have. It looks like it has the tapered wrists like a crew neck sweatshirt would have, but
it does, but I just wanted a long sleeve to layer up.
So it's just the long sleeve tee material with tapered.
Yeah, slightly heavier though. It's not going to suck to you. It's not going to suck to your body. It's going to be a little flowy.
You say it's not going to suck titty. And I was like, whoa.
Okay. You got a titty sucking shirt. You sign me up. I'm in.
Oh my God, you'll love to see it, everybody. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one. I'm Tim Geddes. I'm joined today by Andy Cortez.
Hello, welcome in.
Greg Miller.
I didn't appreciate you calling them Batman cartoons, all right? They're animated series.
All right, you're right. Some of them are cartoons, though. You know what I mean? Some of them didn't quite
Some of them are.
Some
of them are fucking art, Tim.
TAS, everybody. And rounding out the group today, we have Nick Scarpino.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great. We had a great morning. We watched a lot of fun trailers, a lot of cool stuff coming up for the year 2025. And this is going to be a fun little look back on a series that I wasn't expecting much from, but I was pleasantly surprised.
You know, Nick is, of course, referring to our trailer reactions we did to Captain America, Brave New World, Thunderbolts, What If Season 3, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and HBO's slates for the rest of this year in 2025. You can check all of those out over on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames or the Kind of Funny in Review podcast feed, which is where Screencast will live from now on. But let's get into it, everybody. Today we're brought to you by Sonic the Hedgehog at Topgolf, Marvel Snap, and Shady Rays. What you got, Greg?
How good is Sonic the Hedgehog brought to you by Topgolf? How's that feel? How's that feel for you, Tim?
Dude, what a day. Sonic the Hedgehog, Topgolf, Marvel Snap, Shady Rays. We are doing great right now. It feels really, really, really good. But today we're about to talk about The Penguin. It had 8 episodes, released September 19th, Kevin's mom's birthday, through November 10th, 2024. This is the second part of the Batman Epic Crime Saga. Confirmed so far, we have one more spinoff that we don't know what it's going to be. And we also have the Batman Part 2 coming October 2nd, 2026. So still quite a ways away. For that, there's been a lot of rumors and scuttlebutt about what the next spinoff might be. There's already talk of a Penguin season 2 because people liked this so much. But when Matt Reeves was being interviewed about this show, people were like, "Oh, are we going to get a Joker thing with Barry Keoghan? Are we going to get this? Are we going to get that?" And somebody came up with a idea, and Matt Reeves says that's the closest that I've heard, which was a Harvey Dent legal crime drama, which could be very interesting because we haven't seen Harvey Dent yet, right? Like he wasn't in or referenced in the Batman Part 1.
Well, he's in the Joker too.
Yeah, but that's not this.
I know, I'm joking.
Yeah,
but
we didn't get him in at all. We haven't even heard his name, right?
I don't believe so. No.
Yeah, unless there's some throwaway like background thing. No, I don't remember ever seeing anything about Denton, the Batman or the Penguin.
Mm-hmm. The showrunner for this was Lauren LaFranc, and the music was done by who? Nick Scarpino.
Was it the goat?
It was the son of the goat.
The son of the goat?
Son of the goat. Mick.
DJ Junkie XL Jr.
Mick Giacchino.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know there was
Michael's son.
I don't know there was a Spawn.
I tell you what. That's just how it goes. I was watching that John Williams documentary. Andy, did you know that John Williams' son is the lead singer of the band Toto?
I did not know that.
Isn't that mind-blowing?
Mind blowing.
That's awesome.
Nepotism.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Little Nepo baby.
Dude, yeah, I finally watched the documentary, Nick. Awesome.
You like it?
So good.
Good,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, just like
Yeah.
the amount of, did you know that John Williams did the Gilligan's Island theme song?
No, I didn't.
Lost in Space? Like, what?
Yeah,
What are
he
we
had a
talking
whole
about?
career, and then he was like, "Yeah, I might cool it down." And then someone was like, "You should do this movie, Star Wars." And he's like, "All right."
Damn.
And that was
Crazy
it.
stuff. Crazy stuff. But yeah, this was Mick Giacchino's score. Obviously, Matt Reeves did the Batman score. So it's cool to see him do this. Did a great job. And it was announced today, actually, that Mick is doing the score for Skeleton Crew, the upcoming Star Wars show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The
me see the
GOAT
preview for that,
regime continues here. Obviously, we don't have any budget or box office info for this one. So I just want to get into what we thought of it. Greg, I want to start with you. What do you think of The Penguin?
Who would have predicted a series I wasn't asking for and wasn't excited to watch would be this much fun and make me care that much more about the Batman? To where when we finished the penultimate episode of The Penguin, Jen and I immediately were like, well, let's go watch the Batman. And of course, we're parents, so that's been broken up over multiple nights now because that movie's so gosh darn long. But coming back to that movie, especially after seeing it twice at the preview and then the press screening, and then going to see it with Jen when it was finally out. I remember being I didn't hate the movie, but I was disappointed in it. I thought it played it too safe. Blah, blah, blah. Like watching it now that I've fallen in love with the Penguin, with this Gotham and stuff, I had so much more. I am technically still having so much more fun with the Batman because we're in hour 3 now, but we haven't finished off the final viewing here. The Penguin, even without the Batman, obviously, I think even with the Batman, as a chip on my shoulder, is something I wasn't super stoked with. Had a great time with this, Tim. Fantastic series, great performances, fun twists, and I was disappointed when they're like, there's not going to be Batman won't appear in this. Like I was hoping for a little cameo, even when it was like, clearly Gordon's not going to pop up in this either. I was thrilled, loved the show.
Andy Cortez.
Sorry, I'm scrubbing by to try to remember what the plot song is, and I just don't remember what I did. A busy morning. I really enjoyed this show. I thought the performances were off the charts. I love how much commitment there is to these roles. I think Milady, Kristen, thank you, Langley and Mealy. I needed that sort of assist right there. Kristen Milady was just freaking fantastic. Whether it's that single episode that was just fully dedicated to her and what a revealing and amazing revelation all of that was, and all the way to, what I want to say, Joaquin Phoenix. Who's the actor? Who's
Colin
Penguin?
Farrell?
Colin Farrell, thank you.
Yes, Colin Farrell.
Going all the way to Colin Farrell, I just love his depiction of this character. I love how likable and lovable this monster can be, and I really enjoyed the ride. I sort of also was surprised that Batman is ever mentioned, and then you mentioned that the word Batman is not like owned by Disney, or the word Batman is owned by Disney, or there's like some reason why Batman can't be said in this show.
I don't think. I haven't heard that. I don't think that's right either.
There was
That'd be
something
wild if Disney owned the word Batman.
There was some like
I
there was
remember
some
what you're
like,
talking
I
about.
think
Yeah, something
Warner
to
needs to
do
get
with
on
like
that.
the what's it called, like the TV rights.
the TV
specifically?
rights. Yeah, that there's some reason why we never heard anybody mention Batman in this TV show, and like
Interesting.
and because it's owned by somebody else, and
They have to call him the Bat.
yeah, I guess so. Like, I just thought it was very, very odd that we didn't get any sort of word, like verbal reference to that. But I don't know, man. I think this movie killed it. It does what every great TV show does when it hits the credits and you go, God damn, man. I just wanted more. We had a big, massive fake out, I believe, on the last episode, or at least I had created this internal fake out where I looked and said, 18 minutes left. Hell yeah, dog. There's still a decent amount to go. And the show ended about 3 minutes later. I was like, these credits are so long. Like, I really didn't want this episode to end. I had a great time with this show. I have my issues here and there with it, but overall, I think it's like an absolute must watch if you care about this universe at all, or if you just want a really awesome crime drama.
Nicholas.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you guys. I was not looking forward to this. I don't know. It was one of those where I'm like, this seems like it's going to smack with just filler content in between the actual movies. And I think they did a really, really good job of making this very interesting. I think Colin Farrell and Kristen Milioti do phenomenal jobs leading this series. And I was very, very interested from start to finish in the whole show. It dipped a little for me with the last couple of episodes, but I think the finale really brought me back. And I think largely that's because I think you grapple as a viewer with whether or not Penguin is a redeemable character at all. And then they really put a final nail in that coffin toward the end of it. And it's great. And it's fulfilling and it's twisted and it's wicked and it's fucked up. And it really is. It makes you want the Batman to come take care of business. And that's a great place to leave your viewer wanting more.
Yeah. I absolutely love the show. I feel like this is a perfect example of like how good television can be, and the best kind of use of IP, especially in an era that we are just inundated with superhero TV shows and movies, and we've kind of seen it all. And for them to do this, which I mean, this has been said a couple times already, but we weren't asking for this. We didn't necessarily want this. And I'm with Greg where maybe not as extreme as he sounds like he was saying it, but like, I wasn't disappointed in the Batman. It just was not the best Batman movie to me. Like I very firmly placed it behind all three Nolan films. And I wanted to, especially with all the marketing and the trailers and just like the vibes and the look and the score and everything. I was like, oh, this could be as good as at least Dark Knight Rises, if not Batman Begins. I didn't ever think it could take down the Dark Knight, but like, goddamn, that's amazing. And coming out of it, I was like, didn't necessarily love the Riddler's riddles in particular, and that's something that I don't think I can ever get over. But
sorry, Tim.
It
never get over that.
I just never get over. Well, no, just like with the setup of like there's riddles to be solved. Like I feel like they need to be incredibly smart and clever, and me as a viewer, they need to blow my mind if riddles are going to be the thing, and they didn't really blow my mind in it. But I enjoyed the Penguin a lot. The car chase in the Batman was incredible. It was riveting. It was so visceral. And I'm right there with Greg that watching this show, I'm like, I need to rewatch the Batman. And it makes me appreciate it already without watching it so much more, where I'm like, oh man, I am all in on this universe and I can't wait for more. Do not want to wait a couple years for part 2. Very interested to see whatever the next spinoff is. But this show on its own, I think, is just a perfect way to tell the seedy underbelly story of Gotham and make you care about this Batman saga so much more. And I feel like the performances were fantastic, and Kristen Milioti's performance was just unreal. Like, this is the type of thing you watch, you're like, give her the awards. The standalone episode she had was such a great, I think, pivot point of this series to show us, oh, there's so much more to care about than just Batman stuff and Batman characters, and it's like way more about the crime families we have and how they interact. And I was just riveted the entire time. Every episode that would end, and with Andy, it's like, I just want more. Can't wait for next week. Yeah. It feels like true appointment viewing, and I feel like seeing Oz's journey and the way that they handle his story with his mom and his family, like that shit was so dark and real, and it felt like it wasn't drama for drama's sake. Everything they did, I felt really kind of added up and felt believable. And him getting his lair and like the drugs and all that stuff, I just feel like they didn't overcomplicate the story. It felt like everything kind of had the right means to the end. It looked visually incredibly impressive. I feel like any problem I had with the show starting out, by the end of it, I was like, oh man, they turned it around for me. I think Vic's character I wasn't in love with in the early episodes, and by the end, I'm just like, oh man, don't let anything bad happen to this guy. You know what I mean?
He's a dang Vic, you know?
Yeah. And but I feel like it was
jump in
earned
to iterate real quick
Yeah.
off of what Tim's saying. I think one of the things for me, especially Tim, what you said is there's so many superhero movies, there's so much superhero TV shows at this moment. The fact that this was like, hey, we're going to make The Sopranos. And I know that's kind of a tired thing, but it's the easiest jumping off point. We're going to make The Sopranos. We're going to make a Tony Soprano-like character, right? And do that with the Penguin. I think so many shows we've seen before start off with an interesting premise and then inevitably end up doing exactly just another superhero show fighting a bad guy or a good guy that has the same powers or yada, yada, yada. Like the fact that they committed to this being this Penguin story that would go and flesh out this character and introduce you to people in his lives that you don't need to know about from the comics or the movies or whatever. And they did such a great job of having a vision for this, committing to it and going 100% with it, which I think a lot of times we see both the movies when we get excited for something like, I think, Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, or shows have a great concept and then get 2 degrees removed from it, right? Like we were all so excited for those first few episodes of Miss Marvel. Hey, they are doing the comic booky pop up. This is happening. And then that didn't really last the entire run.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And Langley M. Neely brings up something in the chat that I forgot that I wanted to say. This being only 1 week after the film is wild. I really appreciate this being a true follow-up sequel to the Batman, because going into it, there's going to be a Penguin miniseries. It's going to be a prequel. It's going to be just leading to what we know of him. And while that can be cool, I feel like it's a little lame. I think it's like way easier to just get something that's good, but way harder to get something amazing from a prequel like that. Whereas this, it feels like they believed in it so much that they're like, no, this is continuing that story, and them actually showing the flashbacks of how the Riddler's bombs and flood and stuff affected the parts of Gotham. I'm like, this is consequential stuff, both character and Gotham wise. And I just feel like that was a very brave move for them to make. And I think it really worked out because I feel like the majority of people that watch this show are going to like the Batman better after it, and that I think is a sign of an amazing spin-off TV show.
Yeah, I think you make a great point about the bravery, because I thought the same thing of what a commitment to have a villain that you are trying to set up for the future of this movie universe. And usually with a lot of these spin-offs, it may be a character that may be not super consequential to the big arc that you're trying to tell, but like, to not only make this TV show and I hope this show is good enough and doesn't like, because you could possibly kind of ruin this. You could really turn off fans if this show ends up being awful, and you could kind of ruin future funding or
saga stuff.
Yeah, like for a sequel for this gigantic movie that you already put out that a lot of people love. This is like a big sort of Hail Mary to try to possibly continue this series and continue the stories that you're trying to tell. So it's like, thank God it's good, because if this show was bad, that would have been quite a bummer, thinking about, oh man, this is like really, really important to the story. And how, if this is bad, how are they going to shoo this away? How are they going to shoo away Emilia Clarke from Secret Invasion and her character? How are they going to sort of like write Oz off if this show ends up being bad? But luckily it was good. And clearly they had enough faith in that, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a risk, but I also think that it kind of is telling, based on everything we've seen in the last like 4 or 5 years come out of the Marvel camp, that's what we think, that we're like, oh, good for them for actually like taking a risk and killing off some characters that they probably shouldn't have, but they did, and that's cool, and now that's canon in this universe, right? Like, are we in spoilers?
Yeah.
So the fact that Falcone and like Maroni are gone is huge. That's a commitment. That's like hey, we're all in on Penguin, as they should be, of course, because let's be perfectly honest, Falcone and Maroni are always like they're secondary
set up to get to the
they're
Rogues
always
Gallery,
we want the Rogues Gallery, right? But I mean, but if this were Disney, there's a possibility they wouldn't have killed any of those people off. Everyone, they would just be in jail someplace, because we don't want to commit or have there be any big consequences for the overall MCU, like the filmverse. And so I think it is a risk, but also it's not really that much of a risk, because Colin Farrell is a great Penguin. We all like him. This show could have tanked a little bit, and I think they could have just brought him back for the second movie and been like, whatever, it's the Penguin, right? Yeah, it's like saying the Joker. We don't really need too much of a setup for the Joker. Having said that, I'm enthralled, and I think they did a really great job of having this be like a real origin story for the Penguin that is fascinating and is terrifying. And I think he's so much more, in my eyes, formidable now than he was coming out of the Batman. I look forward to seeing what he has in store, because he is fucking unhinged and legitimately scary.
And in addition to that, I mean, I feel like this whole thing being a cat and mouse game with Sophia, like that's so hard. Like, it's easy. It's the J.J. Abrams problem of like, set up the mystery, but once the mystery is like actually revealed, that's usually where things fall apart.
Where's the payoff? Yeah.
Cat and mouse games are easy to set up, like, oh, there's back and forth, but after like 2 or 3 back and forths, you need to keep raising the stakes, and you need to raise the believability of these characters. I think about Death Note a lot, about Light and L going back and forth, and there is a point where Death Note isn't as good anymore when they need to keep finding new ways to keep up in it. And with this, I feel like throughout the entire time, I just believed more and more in each of the characters in each side, and the powers aligned of like who they had on their side and how they were being used, that by the end of it, I really felt like anything could have happened. Like, either of them could have died. Either of them could have had to go to Arkham, whatever. And I feel like the way that they set it up of Sophia having to go back to Arkham is just beautiful. Like that is, I think, the best end this could have possibly had.
A great shot too.
And Oz killing Vic, I think, is the best choice they could have made 100%. For that character. And it's just, it was like, man, like by the end of this, and also all the come on, the fucking bat signal and the Zoe Kravitz kind of sending the message to her. I'm like, yes, y'all, this is what I want from these shows.
I disagree. I didn't like the Vic killing.
Really
didn't like it. To me,
I saw he had to do it.
I mean, to me, it just felt like, okay, the show's over, everybody. Now he still needs to be a bad guy for the movies. That's all it felt to me. Like we still need to hate him for future properties that he's in. Mm-mm. So remember, he's still like, obviously he killed his brothers, terrible guy. But the one shining light that he may have had, we have to eliminate that because now we're back in movie territory. So like TV show Oz is done, we're back into it. And I don't know, I didn't like that. I
adored it. I thought it
really
was
didn't
such
like
a great
it.
move.
It
was one of those. Sorry, go on.
I think it reminds me of like whenever we see somebody who maybe cheated death in the TV show, and you know that the next time that happens, they have to die. You can't have somebody cheat death twice. And for me, I already felt like since we already had Vic almost be killed by him when he's going to tie up his loose ends in episode 1 or 2 or whatever it was, like, I feel like doing that again just, I don't know, it's like playing a chorus 5 times in a song or something. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right rhythmically to me. I understand the reasonings for it, obviously, but I just didn't like that it happened. I was kind of bummed out by that.
I completely disagree. I loved it so much because they made us care so much about Vic and the relationship he had with Penguin, let alone to drive it home in the flashback, but also just therapy inside of her head, right? Of having the conversation with the mobster who lays it out, right? Of like, yo, money will buy these people to come work for you, but it's the people looking for father figures that are going to be loyal to you, right? And that's what obviously Oz was to his moms and most of the people he worked for. But then obviously to have Vic spell it out of him being family and Oz, I think understanding that all he wants is power, and so he can't have this weakness. He has to eliminate this weakness, even though he also loves Vic. I thought it was so cool, and I didn't feel like, I understand what you're saying, Andy. It didn't feel to me like, hey, we're trying to get you back on track for the movie so that when Batman breaks his kneecaps, you fucking hate him. I think they did it because, or I think it works because they did such a great job throughout the show of having us root for Oz, even though, yeah, he is a horrible person, and drop at the very end there, right, how he killed his brother. So you'd really be like it. And then you can have that moment of, well, maybe he's changed or maybe whatever, and then have him do it again to be like, no, I am the fucking monster and my mom thinks I am.
Yep.
Yeah, to me, that was, I'm more with Greg on this one. I think the whole series is, you have it in the back of your mind whether or not he's gaslighting you, right? He lies, he does whatever he needs to do, but you're not quite sure if his motivations are like somewhat good, which is a weird thing to say because he kills, steals, and does whatever he needs to do. But by the end of it, when they were sitting on that thing, I was like, he's got to kill him, and he's got to kill him because he's been using Vic the entire time to a degree. And he and you see that one moment where he's like, you do believe him, where you're like, if he lets Vic go one more step farther, he might be a liability, in that he might actually like start to like him as a family member. And so he's like, I have to kill him. And it wasn't until he comes downstairs from the penthouse and we see Carmen and Jogo and she's wearing the mother's dress that you realize, oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone full into that psychopath, because he's a sociopath at the very least. A psychopath, if you were to actually like clinically diagnose him, he's gone. He's now the Penguin that we need. He's delusional. He is just in his own brain, and he is now officially, like, in my brain, been elevated to that A-list rogue gallery, like, formidable Batman opponent. I believe that he would. I don't believe that him from the Iceberg Lounge in the first one could have given Batman a run for his money, but now I'm interested to see what that matchup's going to be.
He needs the Penguins with the Rockets, though, or else I'm not sure
he's got the badass purple Rolls Royce, though.
He does.
Come
on,
dude.
I'm like, all right, we're getting there. We're getting somewhere, everybody. We're about to get in the plot in just a second, right after a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Sonic the Hedgehog at Topgolf. Y'all, when you take one good thing and you take another good thing and you mash them together, that is when magic happens. Kind of Funny loves Sonic the Hedgehog. Kind of Funny loves Topgolf. So you know Kinda Funny is hyped for Sonic the Hedgehog and friends to arrive at Topgolf at supersonic speed on Friday, November 15th with the launch of the new Topgolf game, Sonic the Hedgehog, exclusively available for play at Topgolf venues across the United States. Created for players of all skill levels, which is great for me, Topgolf meets the fast-paced action of Sonic in this new in-venue game where players go head-to-head in iconic virtual Sonic environments, Green Hill Zone and Sky Sanctuary. You can play as 4 iconic characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, to hit springs, collect rings, and destroy badniks. For players making the transition from a joystick to a club for the first time, Topgolf has your back with its new club, The Sure Thing, designed to make golf less hard. Come play around with your friends and family at a Topgolf near you and try out the new Sonic the Hedgehog game. This episode's brought to you by Marvel Snap. Y'all know Marvel Snap completely took over my life when it burst on the scene 2 years ago. I love it so much that I even mentioned Marvel Snap in my wedding vows because to this day, my wife Gia is so obsessed that she has not missed a single day of completing her challenges. Marvel Snap is an award-winning collectible card game that combines deep strategy, a unique snapping mechanic, and your favorite Marvel characters with thousands of unique card art variants created by renowned artists to collect and use. One of my favorite things about Marvel Snap is just how fast-paced it is. Each game only takes about 3 minutes, so it's always a great time to pop in for a game or two. New cards are released every week, new seasons every month, and frequent events keep the game fresh and exciting. Each game takes only 3 minutes, so you can get in and out wherever you are, and with more than 270 cards in Marvel Snap with over 2,000 unique art variants, you'll always find something new. Download the Marvel Snap app now, available on the App Store, Google Play, and Steam, or visit marvelsnap.com to learn more. This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. Forget the boring gifts this year. Shady Rays makes finding something special for everyone on your list easy. With premium polarized sunglasses that bring both clarity and comfort, you'll be giving a gift that they'll appreciate every time they step outside. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice this holiday season. Every pair of shades also comes with lost or broken protection. If those shades ever disappear or get damaged, Shady Rays will replace them, no questions asked. Shady Rays makes gifting easy with a team ready to help with fast and friendly support. So, give the gift of quality, style, and worry-free wear this season with Shady Rays. Treat yourself for someone special. Go to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 40% off 2 or more shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, code KINDAFUNNY. Andy.
I don't have a plot song.
Do the 66 one, but just say plot. No, plot.
I think that's what the act. You know what? That's what it was, Greg. Plot time. That's what it was.
Hit it.
Plot time. Yeah, you did the plot.
I did the plot. Okay.
For
For Batman? Oh, yeah?
yeah.
Do I do the plots for
I think
Batman?
it was Greg, right? Should be.
I thought I always do on first watch for superheroes.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. It was Greggy.
Greg,
Nobody
take it
knows.
away.
Andy, who can't remember the song, crystal clear remembers Nick doing it.
Yeah. I thought
Fuckface
Joaquin
McGee
Phoenix
over
was in this show.
might be.
Welcome to the Penguin, everybody. A limited series on HBO. Bum, bum, bum. 8 episodes of your fun favorite times. We'll start with number 1, After Hours. In November 2022, remember for the episode things, we read by Wikipedia. In November 2022, a week after the assassination of Carmine Falcone, the destruction of Gotham City seawall, Oswald Oz Cobb is caught by Alberto Falcone, Carmine's son and heir apparent, as he recovers a stash of Falcone valuables from the Iceberg Lounge. Alberto reveals his plans to revolutionize the Falcone drug operation, and after Alberto ridicules Oz's aspirations to be a powerful mobster, Oz impulsively shoots him dead. We don't like to read all the way, so we'd stop there and jump in and say how cool this was. I was like, yeah, fuck that guy, Oz. He sucks.
Birdo, baby. What a great setup. You know, I feel like this is when you start getting into the crime families and all the different names, it loses me quite often, because I'm not that well versed in the Batman stuff. Over time, I feel like I've read enough comics and watched enough shows and movies to have it sit a little bit better. This show was really getting deeper than I've ever been into the actual names and family and how they all connect. And I think that this did a really good job of following up straight from the movie, but then getting into the action and kind of setting the stage of where the battle lines are drawn, and showing Penguin like be as brutal as he was so quickly to this kid. I feel it was like, okay, I get where we're at with the series and we're cooking.
I just like this kid because he plays the husband from the Marvelous Miss Maisel, and he's got a good character arc in that as well. Yeah,
Shout
it's
out to
good.
Marvelous
It's
Miss
cool.
Maisel.
And also, visually, we're back in this world. This is our first like look at this series, and like, okay, they spent some money on this. We're back in the iceberg. We're back in that in the visuals, and it doesn't look like a kind of cheated version of it, which is one of the things that I'm a little apprehensive about with the new Dune series, because you look at that, you're like, are we gonna nail this, or is it gonna feel hollow? And this does not feel hollow.
Yeah, 100%. Set dressing and visually, I thought this show looked like the Batman. Like I didn't look at this go, oh, this is TV. This is Batman for the TV now.
Which is very impressive because the Batman is incredibly visually stimulating and like on a different level. You know what I mean? I feel like the lighting and the colors and all of that, like it has such a distinct style that isn't just like flavor of the week, same old stuff. So like for the show to be able to kind of match that, I thought was very impressive.
I think that I was just looking up cinematographer Greg Fraser, who is confirmed to come back for Batman 2, but I also think that interferes with Dune Messiah.
Oh, is he doing that?
Well, like he did Dune 1 and 2, and I don't think he's coming back for Dune Messiah. And so that was like a pretty big loss. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure that everybody was like, "Oh man,
he'll just get Hoyt Van Hoytema back, the guy that shot Interstellar and a bunch of other stuff."
That guy's pretty good too.
He's a bad motherfucker,
That guy's pretty good.
Oz attempts to dispose of Alberto's body and threatens a group of juvenile delinquents who attempt to steal his rims from his car. He spares Vic Aguilera, after hearing him stutter and recruits him. Oz learns that the Falcones plan to assume control of his drug ring, while Alberto's sister, Sophia, is newly released from Arkham Asylum, suspects Oz is responsible for Alberto's disappearance. Oz's plans to skip towns are discouraged by his mother, Frances. Oz visits Falcone's rival, Salvatore Maroni, in Blackgate Prison. The wonderful Clancy Brown, Lex Luthor himself from the animated series. Let's fucking go.
Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, Mr. Krabs as well.
It's important. Very important.
Very important. Maroni is reluctant, but reconsiders after Oz returns a ring that Carmine had taken from Marconi. Sophia later captures and tortures Oz, but is distracted by the sudden recovery of Alberto's body, staged by Vic to implicate Maroni's crew. Oz is released and begins plotting with Vic to take control of the Falcone crime family.
Correction. Matt Fraser working on Dune Messiah may not work on Batman 2. So it's the opposite. Yeah.
I was going to say, come on, bro. There's no way you give that one up for Batman. Love this. I mean, to me, I think the strength of this series largely is Sophia, that character. I think her arc is incredible. And I think Kristen Milioti does a great job at just us being there and providing a character that's fundamentally fucked up, but you understand why. And then I don't know about you guys, but I found myself rooting for her at the end of this.
Well,
I thought she was 100% the protagonist. I thought she was quote unquote the good guy in this because she's the one that's been wronged. And Penguin is, a piece of shit. He is a bad guy. And so by the end of this, I think I get to that moment where we're in the cell with her, and that long journey getting there and seeing specifically that one episode where we see her from start to finish in Arkham. And I just think to myself, man, I want her to get fucking retribution. I want to see another series with her where she gets after him and kills the Penguin.
You liked her that much, huh?
I really did. I thought she was great.
Then I'll be interested to see where she ranks in a podcast within a podcast we call Belle of the Batman. What's up, ladies and gentlemen and NBs? This is Belle of the Batman, where we rank usually Batman's girlfriend or whoever he's chasing in the movie. But we don't need to do it that way. She's clearly the Belle of the Penguin. She was amazing. Where do we want to put the one and only Sophia? Right now, the Belle of the Batman has 11 entrants on the list. It goes like this. Number 1, Zoe Kravitz in The Batman. Number 2, Katie Holmes in Begins. Number 3, Vicky Vale in 89. Number 4, Maggie Gyllenhaal in Dark Knight. Number 5, Andrea in Phantasm. Number 6, Catwoman Talia in Dark Knight Rises. Number 7, Catwoman in Returns. Number 8, Benjamin Bratt in, of course, Catwoman.
Of course.
Great film.
Who could forget?
Tom Long is also on there too. Then Chase Meridian in Batman Forever is number 9. Number 10 is the Russian Catwoman in Batman 66. And then number 11 is Catwoman and Talia in Dark Knight Rises. Why are they on here twice? I have no idea, but I assume
how it
some
goes.
eagle-eyed viewer can tell us what we were
That's
doing.
hilarious.
Tim, before we answer this question,
Yeah.
I want you, is Chase Meridian or Cade Yeager? Which one's the better?
Dude, I mean, they belong together, don't they?
Together, right?
That's incredible. Chase
great.
Meridian is, God,
Unbelievable.
I think all of those names are like Proxima Midnight.
Yes. Just two names that AI put together. Greg, I'll start the bidding. I'll start the bidding at number one. I
agree.
think she was awesome. I think she was, and it's no disrespect to any of the other actors on the list. I think Zoe Kravitz is fucking amazing as Catwoman. But man, I was just in every scene where they have a close up of her eyes. I'm like, I watched the whole fucking show about this. It's captivating.
She's gonna
Yeah,
win,
I'm right
she's
there with
gonna
you,
win
Nick.
awards,
I'd
man.
put her at the top of the list. Again, no disrespect to Zoe Kravitz, who, again, I'm enjoying so much in my multiple day viewing of the Batman right now. It's unfair to a degree, right? Because, of course, we have, what I said, 8 episodes of this show. So there's so much content to go through, and you get so invested in Sophia, let alone Kristen's performance of this. But just another level. That Arkham episode alone, like her getting put away, coming back, what happened?
That's going to get her an
Fantastic.
Emmy. It's got to get her an Emmy or a Golden Globe.
Now, you saying unfair to a degree, I totally agree with that. But like even raising that, it's like I feel like it just shows how damn good because it's hard to over that much time like not kind of lose it. Like I was saying earlier, the cat and mouse stuff, like they kept elevating it. Like she is so clearly number one to me on this list. Although I am interested, I feel like I'm a little bit. Personally, I feel like I'm not equipped where I want to be to for this episode because I do wish that I had watched the Batman. I'm not going to do that until next week because I really wonder how much the show's going to elevate what I think of that movie and all the performances and different characters. I still think Sophia's number one for me here, but I'm very interested in how I feel a couple weeks from now in terms of where I rank different elements of the Penguin and the Batman.
Now, a young unknown in the chat, Cameron Kennedy says, "Is the mom not the Belle of this series?"
I mean,
No, she
shout
isn't,
out to the
Cameron
mom.
Kennedy. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Cameron, keep your mouth shut.
All right. You're lucky I'm not there to box your ears back.
Now, Nick did think that it was a good question, but as soon as Greg said, shut your mouth, Nick said, yeah, shut your mouth.
I'm enjoying her, man. I don't know what to tell you. I like to be on Team Greg.
And any.
I think when we get to
Easy number
RaGu
one.
BaGu as it stands, right? I think then there's a conversation about we're putting them all together. I guess you're putting the Penguin on there too, but we'll save that for later.
Yeah,
Right
it's
now,
an
Bella
easy
the
number
Batman,
one.
It's got to be Kristen.
I think this is like just one of the best performances we've seen on TV in a long time.
Fantastic. I'm glad we settled that, everybody. So there you
Awesome.
go. Your new Belle of the Batman number one is it's Kristen Milioti?
I say Milioti, but I don't know.
Milioti, that's right.
I keep saying that the way I don't know how she pronounces her
I didn't
name.
realize there was an I
There's
before
another
the O.
I. Yeah, there's two I's.
I thought it was two L's.
No, Melody that would be two L's. But
Milioti.
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 You would say it if it was Italian.
Sophia Falcone, number one. There you go. From the Penguin, a new Belle of the Batman. We're excited for it, and the outfits she was wearing.
Incredible.
You know what I mean?
Especially the
Oh my
last
God.
episode.
I'm
one.
gonna
My
say
God.
this. I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
She's a great actor. Don't get me
Uh-oh.
wrong. Don't get me wrong, Andy.
Uh-oh.
Don't get me wrong, Andy.
I won't.
Andy,
I won't get
you're
you
getting
wrong.
me
Hey, don't
wrong.
misquote him on this.
Don't get me
I
wrong.
won't.
But the mullet did a lot of the heavy lifting in those last couple episodes. Fuck, it's badass. Her mullet was so nasty.
I liked
See that coming.
I liked her hair a lot more in before the haircut.
No, dude, it's fucking sick.
Uh-huh.
The 6 months
I
later,
agree. I
and
liked
she's
it
just
better
mulleted
before the
out.
mullet. Like I remember when you go to the key art for the Penguin to hit play or whatever, and they had the mullet there the entire season. You're like, when are they getting to this bad haircut? But like it works for her. But I liked her hair before. But again,
You guys
she
have
was-
no style. You have no
She
style
was
and no
femme, she was
substance.
fierce.
Cameron Kennedy's right. It's the mom.
Sounds about right, you flip flopper. Number 2 was called Inside Man. Though I rate that Oz framed him, Marconi continues their partnership by allowing Oz to help with a Falcone drop shipment that is subsequently taken by Maroni's crew. Carmine's brother Luca arrives to head the family. Meanwhile, Francis is revealed to be suffering from dementia. There's a lot going on. Sophia suffers PTSD from Alberto's death and becomes increasingly unhinged and is convinced someone in the crew is a mole for Maroni. Just jumping in here. The one thing that I understand but didn't like at all was when and they drop it or it gets better, but like Sophia in the early episodes, they made a choice that she would just grotesquely eat food. I assume from either the prison time or whatever. And it's just like, I never needed it. I guess that when you walk into a room and you're an attractive lady and you start doing that, it was like, oh, okay, she's not like them. You know what I mean? Like something's going on. But I was still like, I didn't need it.
It's a weird
I liked-
character.
At the end, at the end when she was just fucking shooting Hendrix and eating olives, I was like, damn, I'm a man who likes a martini, and that's a faster way to drink a martini. I might start doing that.
Yeah, that was definitely like a little Han is always chewing on stuff in Fast and Furious. Like this is a characterization choice. But yeah, I kind of forgot that even happened because it felt like something that was established that I don't know if we saw a whole lot of.
I just saw it as like a power move. Like I saw it more as her just being like fuck you guys. I'm gonna be weird and you're gonna deal with it because I'm me.
I clocked it as same as Greg did, where it was like prison, where she had to eat fast and eat everything because she was like traumatized by that whole experience. But I also wasn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but wasn't Sofia Gigante like really like a hulking character in the comics?
Oh, I don't know enough about Sofia Gigante.
I just remember her from the Halloween, not Halloween, the Long Halloween.
Long Halloween?
And I remember
was
her
she
being
Long
like,
Halloween? Really? Wow.
I want to say she was, and I want to say she was like a 6'3" like bigger character. So I'm not sure if that was a reference to this or not.
You thinking of Giganta maybe?
I could be wrong. I haven't read that comic series in a long time.
You're thinking of Hulk.
Yeah, that's her. That's what she looked like in the animated series.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's also based off the comic book. It's about the same.
Yeah. So she was like,
That's why I
yeah.
went, grabbed off my shelf.
There you go.
Fair enough. Oh yeah, there she is.
I don't like her face.
Look at that.
If
Hold
it
on.
does it,
Hold
come on,
on.
get it.
Oh, you're
get
blurred.
it.
It doesn't recognize your face. It's
Andy,
doing.
shut up.
Why don't
You
you use a real camera?
You have the blur filter. You fucking nimwit.
Sophia bribes a retired GCPD detective, formerly on her father's payroll, to investigate the heist, and the man kidnaps Irvad, who I don't remember, one of Maroni's henchmen. Maroni's wife, Nadia, who is that woman who has the great voice and was in Assassin's Creed, and I don't remember the actress's name. I'd have to click off. She's fantastic. Assigns Oz to retrieve Aurora before the Falcones get him to talk. During Alberto's funeral, Oz assigns Vic to plant evidence to frame Falcone's underboss Johnny Vitti for Alberto's murder, while he reaches Aurora to implicate Vitti. However, Vic is caught trying to plant the evidence and barely escapes. Oz murders Irvade with a switchblade and frames Sophia's enforcer Castillo as the mole by planting the weapon on him.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Excellent. There's so much going on, and you remember it as it goes. It was much quicker. It's quicker than I could read it. Luca executes Castillo, denying Sophia's demand that she do so to avenge Alberto, and orders her out of the family business. Oz makes Vic dig a grave for Irvad and Castillo, threatening to kill him if he fails again. Then he meets with Sophia, who proposes a partnership to wipe out the Falcone family hierarchy so she may take control.
Sick.
Fantastic episode. This was one where they did such a great job with the dual planes of action and cutting back to Vic and him panicking, cutting back to like everything happening in the house. I don't know. I just thought they did a great job with this one. The tension was at an all-time high. Stabbing the dude in the fucking, the whatever like basement it was, or like
the boiler room, whatever it is.
The basement.
Awesome.
Yeah. The one thing it cracked me up of just like Oz basically turning to Vic and be like, plant this evidence, but giving him apparently no real plan other than to walk up to the cars. I was like, not a great job, Vic, but I understand. Everybody's got to learn. Everybody's got to learn. How bad do you hear the vacuum above me right now?
I don't know.
Oh, I can't hear it.
Oh, thank God. Okay, good. Number 3 is Bliss. In flashbacks, Vic is left orphaned after the seawall explosion drowns his family. In the present, Sophia introduces Oz to a new drug that was used on her and the other inmates at Arkham. Oz names it Bliss. Together, they make a pitch to the Triads to help distribute the Bliss, but they refuse to do business with the pair unless they gain support of Vitti.
Nothing cooler than when triads are introduced to something. I was like, oh, we're elevated now.
Always.
Yeah, not to mention, again, this was like such a fun one of the flashbacks for Vic. You know what I mean? I think, it goes on and talks about the girlfriend and this, that, the other. But watching the party and like when it was happening, like Jen didn't even remember like the seawall explosion. I was like, oh, they're about to fucking eat it. And then they do it. And it looks so good. Again, to the credit and the budget here, like it just looked awesome and such a great way to stitch all this together.
Yep.
Oz and Sophia blackmail Vitti for support by threatening to expose him having sex with Luca's wife. Shout out to the Vitti actor here. I forget, but he'll always be Doug in House of Cards.
Yeah, I think his name's Michael Kelly. I want to say
This guy's so fucking good.
Yeah,
He's so
awesome.
good at being this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stamper.
Yeah, Doug Stamper.
Good bald head.
Yeah, solid.
A good bald head.
Yeah, that's right.
Like when I'm bald, I just don't got the skull shape for it, but I wish I looked like him bald,
The triads then enter into business with Oz and Sophia. Meanwhile, Vic is torn by his desire to leave Gotham with his girlfriend in pursuit of a better life or staying with Oz to potentially become rich and powerful. He also fears that Oz will kill him if he tries to desert. When Oz learns of Vic's intentions, he admits he genuinely respects him and allows him to leave. Vic chooses Oz over his girlfriend and returns, only to find Oz and Sophia held by the Maronis, who have realized Oz's duplicity. Before the hitman can execute Oz, Vic crashes Oz's car into the hitman, and they escape, leaving Sophia abandoned to her fate with the Maronis. And what an ending. What a fucking ending here.
An amazing ending. Reminded me a lot of Breaking Bad with the car hitting the drug dealers in that moment, and him just looking at Jesse going, run! Like, fantastic moment. But more importantly, this had the funniest moment of the whole series of him telling Vic, if you do anything fucking stupid, I'll sense it. Like, that's the funniest the hardest I've laughed in this whole TV show.
So
yeah,
funny.
this episode was really, really great. I did not see I didn't see him coming back at the end. Like, I just didn't know how we were going to get out of that situation.
This was a moment to me of just like especially the boom to the credits of like, I can't wait for what's next. I did not expect them to have him turn on her so quickly, and for Vic to kind of elevate from just being like just a kid to being like, oh, I'm in this with Oz. So I feel like once that happened, I was like, damn, we still have 5 episodes of this show left. Like, that's awesome.
Speaking of 5 more episodes, let's move on to episode 4. Sent Annie is what this one's called.
Come on.
In flashbacks, Sophia learns from a reporter that Carmine is suspected of being the Hangman, a serial killer who strangles and hangs women. Her mother had died under the same circumstances when she was a child. Desperate for answers, Sophia meets with a reporter privately. Oz alerts Carmine, who retaliates by framing Sophia for the murders and having her committed to Arkham Asylum, horrifying Alberto and Oz. Though she is only to be confined for 6 months, Carmine extends her stay to over a decade. She is constantly mocked by the inmates, while her doctor, Ventress, subjects her to electroshock therapy. Shout out to the doctor, of course. I didn't love him in this, and we'll dissect that character, but it's Juice from Sons of Anarchy, and I'm always going to be on Juice's side. Let's fucking go.
Ventress, to me, I think, is the weakest part of this whole show. Don't hate him, but I just feel like there's something about his story and like how he aligns that I'm just like, I don't know that this was fully earned. And
that's
it just feels
thing.
a little weird. I feel like when you're the therapist that like kind of sides with that stuff's always, I think, very touchy. And I just don't think that they perfectly did it.
And that's the thing, I think, whereas you have a series where so many characters and plot lines are fleshed out to the nth degree and feel so good and so earned. In this one, I never even feel like we double that far back. Like, this is as close as we get, right? And there's a conversation of like, I left because they were being bad to you, kind of thing. It's like, all right, well, I don't. And then he's back in Arkham at the end of the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I don't. I feel like they were confused with what role they wanted him to play, and he just ended up being kind of like an unmemorable character. Like, I feel like either you got to make him super crazy and just wild, and this dude that just doesn't kind of understand the moment, or you have to make him extremely reserved, and he was kind of a bit of both at times without ever really committing to anything. He's just a character that I don't feel like was given the right direction of how to act, because I think I don't mind the motivations of the character. I just don't feel like it was like given to the right person, or that person was given the right direction.
Agreed.
Oh, by the way, we fucked up here because you're talking about Juice too when you're talking about interest, right?
Julian.
Yeah,
Rush.
we're moving on to Julian Rush. He's introduced in the next sentence of the statement here, but we all only care about the one doctor, I guess. So whatever.
Yeah, Julian Rush is the guy we're talking about.
Yeah.
Eventually, he realizes that Sophia is innocent and quits. The mental and psychic, physical strain leads Sophia into a breakdown, and she murders her cellmate Magpie. What up, Magpie?
Oh my god,
Batman villain we all know well.
What a scene. Like, what a build up to this too. It's like Magpie, like I feel like they perfectly used her. Like having her in the cell or whatever next to her, and just like how scary. Like that was legitimately scary. Like just the hearing her and like
Talking through the wall,
conversations, talking through the wall, like all that stuff. And for her to then go nuts on her and like become this like evil prison villain was like, goddamn, what an episode, and just what amazing acting on display.
In the present, Sophia is extracted to safety by Rush. Having learned from Nadia and Oz that Oz murdered Alberto, Sophia decides she can trust nobody. That night, she unleashes a gas in the Falcone mansion that wipes out the Falcone family hierarchy, including Luca. She spares Gia, her cousin's younger daughter, and Vita, whom she holds at gunpoint. How fucking good was this?
This to me is the turning point in the series where I'm like, oh, this just went from good to great. Where you set up this character that's been framed, has been put through hell, has come out of this horrible place, a monster in and of her own, and then you give her that retribution of like gassing this entire family that didn't come to her aid at all. Like no one ever came to her aid. And you're
Great
like,
speech right at the table where she's talking about that. Like she'll leave, but none of you helped me.
yeah, none of you. And then you're like, what is she gonna do? And then you see the gas mask, and then first off, I was like, is she gonna kill the kid? That's twisted. And then she spares the kid, and then we have that whole dynamic later where she's like, I will not let them do to you like what they did to me. But then, of course, in doing so, like she's definitely setting the kid up to have at least a lot of therapy bills later down the road
100%.
because mom and dad are dead. And then walking back in and realizing that she spared Stamper, and you're like, why would she do that? And then realizing she spared him just to make an example out of him because she was just gonna fucking blow his brains out in front of the guys the entire time.
God,
what a great moment! What a great episode.
Episode number 5. And by the way, Andy, whenever you want to apologize to me, I'm ready for it.
Well, you know what you did.
I don't want to keep stepping on it. Well, I mean, while we've been talking, I went and looked at Batman in Review where I did an awesome plot recap, and I got no fucking credit for it. You're trying to hand it off to Nick as always.
Yeah.
So whenever you want to apologize, Andy, into that one, that'd be great.
So it was you who did the plot. Okay,
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, my bad. I like to apologize, Greg. Here's the
Andy,
thing,
I
though.
want you to-
Apologies, they don't mean nothing these days, Vic. You know, that's the thing, Greg. You know, if you ask me who my favorite rap rock frontman would be, I'd probably say Fred Doist. You know.
God damn, he's so fucking good.
He's
just so fucking good.
Did you just come up with that, or did you work on that for a while?
Over the weekend, I was like, what words kind of fit that sort of
Fred Durst came to mind.
Fred Doist, you know, because he's not the worst, you know. If you ain't last, you're foist, you know. That's the thing, Vic. You know, that's a problem.
God
say
damn.
You need to add Vic in it. Like,
Jesus Christ! Yeah, he
It's
does
like
that.
ghosts.
He does that a lot. That's how it goes, Vic. You know.
That's really good.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Episode 5, Homecoming. No, they didn't screw it up. That was me. Homecoming. Oz and his crew kidnapped. Wouldn't that be funny if they mistitled it when they spelled it wrong. They put ... Homecoming. And if you're out there and you're naming episodes of TV, do it because nobody gives a shit what you call these things.
I'll be
Anyways.
honest with you, though, Greg. I do really want to explain why I was wrong earlier because I was trying to find the plot songs in any of these songs, and Kevin didn't do timestamps back in the day. And every time that I scrolled to, Nick was yapping away. So I just, I think it was him explaining why he likes Batman Begins, but here are all my issues with Batman Begins. So it was a lot of Nick yapping, and I was like, oh, he's doing the plot clearly.
It's just that, like, if you're gonna design a helmet, why not have one that looks like this, like a cowl?
Yeah.
And then when and then it's like, hey, can he breathe in that? No, he can't. Oh, it's too late. We got to start filming with it right now. You think? 3 fucking movies we got that.
you want to know something fucking
Figure it
crazy?
out, Nolan.
So the Penguin, obviously, such a fucking hit. Everyone's watching it. Gia's sister and her boyfriend were watching this, like not understanding.
What's his name?
Evan. Not understanding what world, universe, Batman, whatever the shit was in, right? And then they're like, oh shit, this is the Robert Pattinson world. That's cool, whatever. They got in such a mood. They're like, let's rewatch the Dark Knight movies. They didn't know that there was a Batman Begins.
They
Can you
just
imagine?
started with the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Returns. So they watched Batman Begins, and they were just like blown the fuck away. And they're like, wait a minute, this is the fucking world of the Dark Knight. I'm like, God, I wish I was you guys.
God,
Just not
what
to have a
nice.
bonus secret Nolan Batman movie. Like,
What a treat.
there he goes.
Evan.
Wrote Evan on his hand.
Now write boner underneath it.
This is the villain
Oh, I
arc right
miss
here.
working from home, man. You can do any bit you want. No one can stop you. Is it funny? It doesn't matter. It's happening. All right, number 5, Homecoming. Oz and his crew kidnap Maroni. You got to show Evan that clip, okay, Tim?
I will.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll
Oz
be
and his
appreciative.
crew kidnap Maroni's son Taj as a ransom in exchange for the Bliss shipment stolen by Nadia. At the same time, Oz has Vic look after Francis. During the trade, a guard bribed by Oz tries to assassinate Maroni in Blackgate, and you can't fucking kill Clancy Brown. While Oz kills Taj and Nadia by setting them both on fire. Fucking hardcore.
Whoa,
So
dude.
fucking good, Andy.
Really, really damn good.
And this is
very
where-
scary, but I just can't. Like, all I could do is put myself in the mind of the dude who was trying to kill Clancy Brown, just be like, Oswald sends his regards. And then, like, Clancy Brown stops like, oh, fuck, shit. Like, you're a lot stronger than I thought you were.
You're a big boy.
Incredible.
The fire activates chemical extinguishing sprays that destroy most of the mushrooms, while Maroney survives the attempt on his life and escapes prison. Meanwhile, Gia is set to children's home, and Sophia tortures Vidi until he decides to support her bid for the family head. Joined by Rush, who has fallen in love with her. So again, totally paper thin. Paper thin, this thing.
He was not the belle of the ball. I'll say that.
No, he wasn't. He wishes he can't even sniff Benjamin Brandt's jockstrap. All right, that's how bad this guy was.
Tom Long.
Tom Long.
Tom Lone is a stupid name.
Sophia rebrands the family under her mother's name.
Dumbest fucking name. Like when you talk about
Cade Yeager.
when you talk about like people going way too far and way too hard, that it's like a joke. Cade Yeager and Chase Meridian. When you talk about somebody not trying at all, Tom Lone has got to be one of the worst names.
Sophia rebrands the family under her mother's name and earns their loyalty by arguing how they were similarly mistreated and neglected under Carmine's rule. When Vidi objects to her plans, Sophia executes him. She and a grieving Maroney later form an alliance to kill Oz. Elsewhere, Oz is in a panic upon learning of Maroney's escape, losing the support of his lover, Eve, while his mother berates him for forcing her to hide in a condemned apartment. Oz remembers an abandoned underground railway, showing it to Vic, and declaring this would be a great place to grow mushrooms.
And then how it reveals later on what this place... Oh, my God, it's good.
Dude, it's so good. And I feel like this episode continued. I mean, obviously, the amazing one that we saw previous. It was like, how is this season going to keep up as good as that like standalone flashback episode is? And this pushes everything forward so well with setting up that he has the underground and how it's going to connect in the future, whatever. But more than that, like this episode, I think did such a great job of having Vic and his mom start to form a relationship. And you really start to see what makes Penguin tick and why he's doing the things he's doing and his obsession with his relationship with his mom. And it just feels so real and so scary to see how his mom sees him. And I feel like now, especially knowing how the rest of the season goes, looking back on this episode, it's like, dang, dude, like the way that she sees Oz is like fucked up, but like it's obviously earned. But yeah, I just feel like the family dynamics gave every single thing that Oz does a point and purpose that I feel this episode really was the turning point for me of being like, oh man, they're building something here that I believe in.
Yeah, you did such a great job here of like, taking a two-dimensional comic book character, and I'm not saying every interpretation, but just the Penguin character in general, right? And really going into what that would look like, how would that actually happen, and then twisting it, right? Where at this part where we really get to spend time with his mom and Frances, and she's such a curmudgeonly, alcoholic, dementia, horrible person, right? And especially when she has the conversation upcoming with Sophia, and Sophia is even like, oh, I wondered how a monster would get made. Like, you made this monster, blah, blah, blah. And then to get that flip, right, of where she was she was working for the mob or whatever, but she seemed like a fine mother who was trying to make it all happen and be a good mom. And then, of course, pushed to her breaking point with the two boys being murdered by the one boy, but then getting the advice that, like, hey, you can double down and make this monster and use him your own. Like, oh, fuck, that's really crazy that they did all of these switches on us, even as the viewer.
And even adding Eve to that whole equation as well, I think was just so brilliantly done of seeing her place in this story and how the different characters use her throughout the series.
Sure.
And even just when we get to the end of like her dressed as his mom, it's just like, man, there's just some dark stuff going on here.
Shoot.
But yeah, I feel like they really cared about the characters and story, where this is a good example, I think, of plot being furthered by character development in a very nice little handshaky way.
Real quick, I didn't get the reference when Andy said where they were going with the underground thing, and you made a reference to it too, Tim. What are you talking about?
That's where he killed his brothers.
Okay, cool.
But also just like, I mean, the real control over being able to get anywhere in the city and the way.
Okay, just making sure there was not some. Oh, this is going and building that I didn't know. I got all that.
It was just very, very, very smart, and giving the Penguin a lair that makes sense. I think was just very cool.
Keep them off the grid; they disappear. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Andy is right though. We do miss the Penguins with rockets.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tim said that.
Yeah, that was Tim, but
I just take a shot in the dark. It was 2 hours.
Just the thing I've been talking about for the last 10 years of my life. But yeah.
You have to understand. Greg will understand this because he's on this side of the table. It's so far over here.
Yeah.
That by the time your voices and the beards get to me, you're the same fucking person.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's looking at pants too. Number 6 on the Roper Report. We're talking about episode Gold Summit. Oz has managed to grow his empire significantly, reproducing, distributing the bliss in an underground trolley. Sophia and Maroney's kill several bliss dealers as a warning, leading Oz to decide to give away bliss for free to raise demand across all gang territories. Again, like, as somebody who loves that part of the Batman mythos, the gangs and what are they doing and this, and then even like they referenced No Man's Land, a throwaway comment in the very beginning here, and I got all excited because No Man's Land I liked a lot when Gotham got cut off in the United States because it was just fucking too far gone. Amazing. This here is such a great. Even when I watch The Sopranos, and I enjoy The Sopranos, I feel like I want that heightened action, that heightened crazy thing to happen, and they don't do that a lot there. Whereas here it is that idea of, hey, we need to do a warning. We're going to kill these drug dealers. We're going to bleed them like stuck pigs on the thing. You'll see it on the news, then have the guys react to it and build off of that.
You're so right, Greg. And I want to get back to what you're saying in just 1 second.
I know. What's going on? I see everybody
Nick's
crying.
reacting like Moose does when he hears just fucking Gia open a bag of chips. And he's just opening some candy
I'm opening a
here.
little sweet tart under the desk, and then Nick looks at me and just goes, he just sticks his tongue out.
Give it to him. Give it to him like the Eucharist.
Give it to me.
No, I'm so with you though, Greg. I think that was awesome because I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember in our review of the Batman Part 1, it ending with like this massive flood and the city being fucked up. It just felt like such an extreme jump for a first movie in this universe to like fuck up Gotham as bad as they did. It was like, how are they going to follow this up? And what they did here of it being a direct follow-up, but kind of explaining that it was just this part of Gotham, and they spelled it out a little bit more here. I really liked seeing that, oh no, it is fucked up. It's not just going to be fixed overnight. And the way they kind of explained like how this place is a bit off the grid at this point, and they have their own rules. There different shit going on, but to have these kids killed off and like it make the news and show that like it is lawless in this really scary way, excellent stuff.
I do need a map
Of Gotham.
I'd like
to
to see
say
a map
like
too.
here's where the flood was. I was still
Because when I
when they're
watched the
walking around-
movie,
when they're walking around in
It's
certain
everywhere.
areas, I'm like, and then they bring up the flood. I'm like, oh, that's right. There was a flood in this city. Like I kind of like forgot because this part just looks like it. You know, it doesn't look like it's the best city because they still want to make it look dark and dangerous at points. But it's just shocking to me that some parts are just completely unaffected by it. It seems like, right? I don't know. I don't know.
I
If
agree.
it,
Big
you know,
city. There's
I mean,
like
Greg, yeah,
9,000 bridges.
it's a big city. You know,
I haven't seen Batman in a long time. Like in the movie, in the 2/3 that you've watched of it recently, like do they get into like what parts of Gotham actually were hit there?
Oh, we haven't even blown the fucking walls. This movie's way too long. I don't know. We're remotely
Greg will
there.
get back
We
to
just
us in
caught the
3 days
Riddler.
when he finishes the movie.
it is a long movie.
It's too
yeah.
fucking long.
Fair.
By the time I'm done with it, Ben's gonna be old enough to watch it. I'll have to start again. Go back. You know what I mean? And I think it's just the poor sections that really get hit if memory. That's a rusty memory, but I think that was the big thing. Is it's like the people who don't the section of Gotham where there are the have-nots is the ones who really suffer from this.
Yeah.
But then the haves still had their power diverted from the have-nots, right? Like, so I think the rich people still were affected in some ways, but they were,
Sure, I mean you can't blow up part of the city and not have it affect everybody
of course.
somehow. You know what I mean? I've tried.
Oh,
Vic is
Heard
confronted by
Roger laugh over
Squid,
there.
a drug dealer from his neighborhood who asks Vic to let him help the operation. Vic attempts to pay him off, but when Squid threatens to expose Vic and Oz unless he gets a meeting with Oz, Vic shoots him dead and flees.
Dude, this Squid stuff was good.
Yeah.
And that's why
Real
I
good.
don't want Vic dead, man.
Well, suck it up,
Good
Buttercup.
storytelling though when you don't want him dead.
God,
But like, I want more of the story arc. I want to see. This was the Breaking Bad moment. This is where he broke bad, and I want to see more of. Like before the final moments in the last episode happened, all I could think about was, man, it's going to be cool to see how evil and fucked up, and then contrast the niceness to it to where we'll suddenly start to see some murders that don't have him panicking after and like, oh fuck, what the fuck did I just do? What the fuck? You know, why did you do this to me? You know, I want to see how he'll look in the future and like, man,
The thing for me that I really
It's gonna
appreciated,
he'll be at the bottom of the lake, you know, Vic.
decaying.
and this is in a different direction of it, of like not seeing him get even worse, because I feel like where we had him, I think like I like that he didn't go full on, I am the bad guy and I'm okay with it. He did the things, but even in future episodes of this, his relationship with Oz's mom and how he takes care of the mom, like I really like that at the end of the day, Oz killed Vic, which is the one person that was actually taking care of his mom correctly. You know, the thing he wants the most, I feel like he got rid of. And to me, that really works well. I feel like Vic had to die because of that element where Vic is a good person somewhere in there. You know what I mean? He's just a victim of so many bad things happening to him. A victim. There we go.
Vic and Tim, you know?
Yeah, 100%. This is me and
That's the
Vic.
thing, Vic. That's the thing, Tim.
Sounds like we really liked Vic.
Yeah.
I was like, where's it going? I forgot.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a podcast within a podcast we call Rockin' Robin, where we rank all the Robins of the Batmans we review. Well, when you hear this list, you'll see why. Rockin' Robin's list looks like this. Number 1 is Michael Cera in Lego Batman. Number 2 is JGL in The Dark Knight Rises. Number 3 is Robin in Batman Forever. Number 4 is Robin in Batman and Robin. Number 5 is Lois Griffin in Catwoman. Number six is the mayor's son in the Batman, and number 7 is Robin in Batman 1966. Where do we want to rank Vic from the Penguin on our list of Batman sidekicks?
I forgot about Lois Griffin and Catwoman.
How could you forget?
The voice of Lois Griffin, yeah.
God.
Yes.
I mean, look, Vic was pretty damn good. Like I said earlier, I didn't love him in the beginning of the series. I thought he was like a low point, and by the end of it, I really, really loved him. So, I mean, Michael Cera.
I put him number 1. Drop Sarah.
I don't know, man.
No,
Michael
bro.
Cera had some amazing parts.
When I desired to
Above
be.
Was he a good
above
Robin?
JGL.
Was he a good sidekick?
He's
Was
a
he
great
good
sidekick.
helper?
Phenomenal sidekick.
Phenomenal.
Even when he wasn't good.
He gave Batman back his humanity. He gave him a sense of family and hope. And you're always talking about hope because of that other character. That side character.
to be goddamn.
Can you be quiet when I desired to be?
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, I would put Vic as number 1 here.
That's where I put him too.
Okay.
I guess in Tim's world, that means we have the votes. Am I right, Andy?
Yeah, Jesus, these votes. That's crazy. The democracy.
All right, so there you go. For Rockin' Robin, I put
Where's
the
it
Vic
coming
from the
from?
Penguin.
It's right there. That's amazing.
Andy, I don't like that. Only I do the bits. Only I do the sound machine bits.
Yeah,
in
Andy,
Batman.
get in line.
You good?
You know what I mean?
Damn, that was like rock.
All right, you guys ready to move on then?
Yeah, I do have a question for Andy though, real quick.
Sure.
You got any more of those sweet tarts, or what's up?
No, they were in the kitchen. Man, the way
Vic's
you
going
got
to
you.
the kitchen.
don't
Don't enable this,
yeah,
Roger.
don't enable this, man. He's just-
All right, so we're ready?
Yes.
yeah.
All right, you're not going to like it, and I'm not going to like it, but we have to.
Oh, God.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a podcast within a podcast that we call Rockin' Robin Suits. We rank the suits of the Robins we rank. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it either.
I don't want to do it, he says.
We made.
He's
a
not
decision.
Robin. He's not wearing a suit.
Well, Lois Griffin's on the list, Andy, so...
So's the mayor's son. So the way we have ranked Robin suits up until this point are number 1, Batman and Robin. Number 2, Batman and Robin on Ice. Number 3, Batman Forever. Number 4, Michael Cera in Lego Batman. Number 5, Robin in 1966 Batman. Number 6, the mayor's son in The Batman. Number 7, Lois Griffin in Catwoman. And number 8, JGL in Dark Knight Returns. Now, I'll honestly just turn it over to Tim. I think Tim's got the best fashion sense on the panel. Where would you rank Vic? Because he's just wearing clothes this whole time.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is I'm not a big fan of his clothes, but here's the thing: he is wearing some pretty sick Jordans. Cool Greg has those Jordans, so that goes pretty high on my list. Where it ranks here, I'm not sure because I do like a lot of Robin suits in these movies.
I love
Batman and Robin Ice suit, Batman Forever. Love all of those. The Michael Cera Lego Batman look. I appreciate.
I'd put this over.
Classic.
I'd put this over Robin 66.
Me
You're
too.
nightmare
I like
people.
that.
You're nightmare people.
Thank you.
Fine then. I guess because of the way votes work. There you go.
Greg, I'm eating a baby Ruth.
Ew.
How much does that Baby Ruth taste like sweet fruit?
Oh, here we
Why
go.
does all this candy taste like fruit? I know I heard you guys talking about it, but I was like, you're not fucking.
We
it's
gotta
just
throw
the-
it out.
it's
We gotta
just the
throw it
That's a
Snickers,
story
actually.
for another
Roll it out.
time.
Because of
Now
It's
we'll
just a
move back
Snickers.
on to number 6, Gold Summit. We already shot him. Yeah, we shot Squid. Francis's condition deteriorates further, and she has Oz promise to kill her if she becomes severely ill. Oz threatens a corrupt councilman to restore electricity to Crown Point. You remember this guy? It's the dude from Entourage who called everybody Suits. Hey, Suit, get out of here. Remember that, Nick?
Oh
You're the
yeah,
one that can help me on this.
well, this guy's the guy for I know him from Billions, but yeah, you're right.
And sets a meeting with the heads of the other gangs, who he convinces to work together against the Gigantes, Maronis, and Upper Elite. Sophia and Sal break into Oz's apartment to find leverage against him, and Sophia discovers a photo of Eve. Sophia visits Eve, threatens to kill her to get to Oz, but Eve gives up his location after Sophia reveals Oz was aware of the true identity of the Hangman. Francis and Vic dance to music after power is restored to Crown Point, just as Sophia enters the crowbar, or with a crowbar.
Terrifying
Great episode.
ending. Yeah,
Yeah,
terrifying ending.
episode.
I loved I loved seeing Sophia's like humanity here and understanding that Oz hadn't even told her the truth. Like Oz had not told like the fact that she was still in the dark here, and Sophia's like, "Oh, you didn't know either. Oh wow, this is like really fucked up. This dude is really fucked up."
Yeah.
And then the fact that Eve turns on him, I think, is like an even cooler turn.
My apologies, by the way. I got my actors mixed up. I'm talking about the guy from later. The guy from later, the old school, the gangster guy that was going to kill him.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
It's okay. You can write an apology to both actors, please. That would help. And I think
Okay.
really-
Yeah, I'll work on that right now.
You're a good guy, and I like you.
my friend.
Yeah, I forgot honestly until the synopsis right here. This part about how mom said if I fuck me up, kill me. If I like, and then she's stuck there with the one tear rolling down her face. Fucked up, man.
Fucked
Yeah.
up.
Really
Nick,
sad.
you got to promise. I need to get a DNR like process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if for some reason I don't get it in time, and I'm just like, you got to take me out. You got to do it.
You
if
want-
they resuscitate me.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be able to say that I died and I came back.
No, because I think I'll come back with something. I'll come back with the
Oh.
devil. You know what I mean? Like
a
we've
demon.
already.
You would have
Yeah,
seen
exactly.
you would have seen like a different sort of plane of living. It would have been like, oh, I've seen some shit while I was gone.
I'm the
Yeah.
opposite, by the way. If I ever
You want me to kill you right now so I can bring you back?
no, I'd like to be resuscitated, but if I'm in a state that's not necessarily as I am right now, just stick me in the chair. No one's gonna know the difference.
Let him sit
Okay.
there.
Just put the bowl of candy in front of me so I can awkwardly eat it
You
on
can
camera.
munch. Okay, sounds
Give
good.
me a Baby Ruth.
They're fucking good.
They're great.
Fuck Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth's kind of slap. I'm not gonna lie.
We stopped at a bulk candy store today. After lunch, we stopped at a bulk candy store, and I got some like red chewy licorice stuff. It was great. I digress.
I'm into it. Yeah.
Evan.
Knave.
Number 7, top hat. As a child, Oz is
Lone.
resentful of the attention that his mother gives his brothers Jack and Benny. After a game of hide and seek, Oz leaves his brothers trapped inside an overflowing sewer tunnel where they drowned. In the present, Oz returns to his apartment and finds an injured Vic, who reveals that Sophia has kidnapped Francis. Vic escapes right before Maroni arrives with his men. Maroni beats Oz with a golf club too. Fucking ouch. Has Oz take him to the underground lair.
Real quick, I
Oz
just want to
is-
say about
please.
the brothers getting killed. Like this scene was just so well done, and it being kind of like the cold
Amazing.
open of the episode. Like we all knew where it was going once it started, but I didn't expect them to be just as brutal about it. And like the way that they focused on Oz so much, like when they first put him, like were fucking with him, and like kind of like taking advantage of the fact that he couldn't move the way that they could.
Yeah.
And then just to have him like be there as they were screaming out about to drown was just like, God damn, man. There's no going back for this. Like this guy is such a villain. And for us to know he did this when he was young, it just kind of paints every single thing we've seen the character do otherwise.
100%. Yeah. And, those cutbacks to him sitting on the couch all happily with his mom while his brothers drown is fucking intense, right? And he keeps looking out the window, which I took as like initially, oh, why aren't they home yet? Why aren't they home yet? And then eventually it's just the recognition of the water. He knows he's killing them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
He's
messed
a
up.
bad guy.
Also, the young mom actor Nick, she played the girl who was married to Samuel Tarly in Game of Thrones.
Oh, nice.
I like how HBO always will we keep it in house. Like,
keeping it, yeah.
You work for our stuff, well, you'll be in a bunch of HBO shit in the future.
That's good. We should try to get jobs there. We should try to get jobs there.
Oz and his men stage an ambush, and Maroney dies of a heart attack while fighting Oz. I beat you! I beat you! A callback to his lines in The Batman when he goes, I beat you! I beat you! To Batman.
I got you!
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sophia has Rush interrogate Francis about Oz's weaknesses and visits Gia after learning she intends to cooperate with the police. Disillusioned after seeing the pain she has caused Gia, Sophia considers accepting Oz's ultimatum to trade Francis for his bliss supply. But Rush convinces her to go through with her desire to see Oz suffer. During a trade, Sophia sends a bomb that destroys Oz's base and kills his entire crew. Oz survives. And again,
If I'm lying, I'm dying.
I don't want to be this guy. I don't like that you keep forcing me into this situation, filmmakers.
I know
But
what
it's a Joker falling into a situation again, Andy. What am I going to bring up, Andy?
He comes too fast.
The rubble in 911.
A lot of dust on your face like 9/11. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. It changed
I don't know what I
everything
hate
in the
more.
way.
The fact that Greg had to bring it up with the fact that Andy knew.
Well, because I saw that clip and I look, he's not wrong that disasters pre 9/11 were shown a different way. He's right about that. Like seeing the dust on people, like that adds to the trauma. It's like, oh, fuck, Greg's not wrong about this, but I just wish he didn't say it. You know?
It does seem superfluous, but it really adds to the milieu of what we're talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like the visual influences, I totally get. But it's still
And
Greg saying it, so it still feels wrong, you know?
Do you want me to send you some literature I've found on the internet about it? Because there's a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Really?
Damn, there's a book about it too. I should read that.
From the dark web?
Americans. No. American Cinema in the Shadow of 9/11. I really do. Chat, help me out. Send me, because I remember back, somebody did an actor did a whole Instagram or Twitter thing about hey, really, we need to knock it off. We should not be mining our own nightmares for it. But I digress. We'll get back to that. That was done, right? Yeah.
I mean, this
this
is a cool
Oz
ass
survives,
scene.
resurfaces, only be knocked out by the detective Sophia bribed to kidnap the other guy.
I mean, I'm such a sucker for when movies or media does this, where you think she's in the car, door opens, it's like, oh, there's sunlight, she's not in the car, of course. It's really, really awesome. I think this was predictable, but it still worked for me, you know?
Yep.
Guy running out immediately. The hell was that all about? Yeah. Really, really awesome, well done sequence here.
100%.
And then him running into the place where his brothers died.
Yep.
Yeah, hurt his
saved.
leg too.
Yeah.
Falls down. I don't like that.
There's a
And
doit
also,
in my face,
again,
Vic.
to our point of this doesn't look like a TV show, the way that explosion looked when it went like this and then came back down, made the nice crater and everything else, just dynamite. Dynamite stuff out there. Final episode, number 8, A Great or Little Thing. Using EMG therapy, Rush learns that Frances already knew about Oz drowning his brothers and tried to have him killed, but could not bring herself to do it.
Oh my
Oz's
God. Just brutal stuff, man. I thought this flashback was excellent. The way they would play with the actresses switching and just the cameras moving, really, really cool
Well,
stuff.
we've seen this too from his perspective, right? Where he thinks he was the one that drew his mother out because of his support, but it turns out she's taking him to his fucking death.
Yeah.
Wild.
Oof.
Yeah, and I think that was a thing the show does so well, those dueling perspectives, where when she takes him out that first time, I remember watching oh, that's a weird thing, but I guess you got to dust yourself off and go be a mom at some point. And then to get to this side and have it be oh, she was at the end of her wit's end until he goes on his little penguin monologue.
I think all of it was done so well, but what was even better was her breaking out of this sort of moment and seeing psychiatrist guy and Sophia.
Yeah. At the table.
Dude, that
was
shit
cool.
was so badass, man.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, stay there, stay in it. This is your memory. You're at the whatever club it was called. What really sucks, if we can just make it about me for a second, is that I had the exact build of this young penguin kid, and I would have fucking ate this role up as a kid. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? I know it's hard. It's hard to imagine me playing a psycho, but I could have fucking done it. I could have done this really well.
Yeah.
Exact.
You really could have. You really could have.
You've seen it. Go get my 5th grade basketball photo wherever it is around there. I
You
can
really
this
had
kid.
that. You really had it. I mean, no need to redo the wardrobe. Just slide him into the shirt.
Did you at any point think that maybe we were going to go a little bit further, when it was happening, obviously, that we were going to go a little bit further, and he was going to get in the car with the mobster, and then that would be how he got his scar or something like that? One of his scars?
No, because right when they have that moment, where she has the realization like she should choose option A, not option B.
But I'm talking before that, right? But like, before we're even at the nightclub, and it was like, oh, this is what they're. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like how weirdly like Oedipal.
Yeah.
What's the correct conjugation?
Either one
of that
works.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
Oedipus is
right?
the guy. I would have called it Oedipus, but you're right, right? That there's
Yeah, like how
Oedipal is referring to how Oedipal it is.
Yes, how Oedipal it is, where he clearly sees his mother in many different lights, and when you kind of take that like in an innocent way when he's a kid, but then of course coming full circle, and he takes the woman that he actually pays to have sex with and makes her his mom. That is so fucked up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so twisted. That's like a therapist's nightmare.
Ma, what are you doing, ma? Leave her alone.
Oz is brought to Sophia, who makes Francis confess the truth. Oz refuses to admit his actions, even as Rush tortures Francis, causing her to disown him before suffering a stroke. Awesome. This was so cool. And when it was like, I was like watching, like, he's committed to the lie. He's not going to do, I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yep.
He sucks, but he's cool. Oz escapes and kills the detective and brings Francis to the hospital. Meanwhile, the local, and also she stabs him with a broken bottle. Did anybody else, and this is more for the video game side, think he was about to catch it in the eye? When I was like, when she breaks the bottle, I was like, this isn't like that. I wonder if they're going to stab him in the eye, like in the Arkham games where he had the embedded
patch.
bottle in his eye. But he doesn't. And then I thought it was kind of weak that he gets stabbed, and they make it out to be a big deal because it's a big deal to get stabbed. But then he just staples himself and uses some hydroperoxide. He's fine.
A tough guy.
He is a tough
but
guy.
still, like, there's a lot of organs in there. I mean, I know
he's
he's
a big
fat,
dude.
so I mean, yeah.
She didn't penetrate.
Yeah,
the first couple
I
layers.
kind of thought it was a little too convenient that his mom falls and that's when he like breaks out of the chair and then is in that little gunfight and then they don't pursue as like he's walking out with
he
her.
picks up this guy that has difficulty moving, picks her up,
Yeah.
and she's not a small woman,
Yeah.
and just starts like dodging gunfire and stuff after getting like stabbed in the belly. Like I don't know.
Like, just think about it this way. Me and Greg are tied. We're tied to a chair, Andy.
Yeah.
And someone's got a gun to our head. Think about all the wonderful adrenaline that would be coursing through your legs at this moment. And you would come save us, right, Andy?
Of course. Of
You would
course.
come save us.
No thought of no
Save
doubt
us,
about
Andy.
it.
Do you want to see if you can
Save us.
deadlift me real quick?
It's not the same. You wouldn't have the amount of adrenaline. He wouldn't have the adrenaline.
Oh,
It's not the
okay.
same.
No.
You're
Okay.
safe. It's safe. It doesn't work that way.
real,
Let's move
real
on.
quick, I need to go through. Oh, thank you, fucking
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Told you, thank you. This is
Which
why we
one's
pay
which?
Roger what we pay him. All right, look at that.
Holy shit, you even
I
have the
was
bowls.
born. I was born to be this kid.
Do you see now, guys? I want you guys to know how committed I am to this company. I watched 18 hours of that vapid look. And it changed me, man. It's scary. I've seen the devil. You know what I mean? I've seen the demon.
Langley M. Neely in the chat says Oedipus is boys to mothers and Electra is the female daughter to father version. That just reminds me, I just need to bring this up because Daredevil Born Again's coming out in March.
Yes, it is.
And I've never watched all the Netflix shows. Me and G have been slowly working our way through them. And we watched seasons 1 and 2 of Daredevil, season 1 of Jessica Jones. I loved all of those. Then we got into Luke Cage. We got about halfway through that. And over time, we just kind of gave up with the plan to go back at some point. But now that we have the all right, we got to get this done before March because I want to at least get to Daredevil season 3. This weekend, we started watching Defenders, which I've heard a lot about in the past. And I just need to let you know, Andy Cortez, there is nothing worse than finishing The Penguin and then watching The Defenders.
Oh man.
It was like, holy shit.
Slog right there.
I don't know if y'all know about this Iron Fist character, but things aren't going well.
Danny Rand.
Things are feeling real bad out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to keep pushing through.
it did.
I'm going to keep pushing
It did
through. Because I still love the Daredevil, man. I love Jessica Jones. They're out there having fun. I even like Luke Cage. Anyways, continue, Greg.
Sweet Christmas. Meanwhile, the local bosses abandon Oz for Sophia, who puts out a bounty on Oz as she prepares to leave Gotham. Vic arranges for the bosses to be murdered by the deputies who help Oz abduct Sophia. Instead of killing her, Oz has his police contacts returned her to Arkham. I'll stop here and say this is one of those things I hate when a show or any fiction does, where it just ignores time and space, where like Oz puts the gun to her back of her head and she takes the slow breath in, and then the spotlight hits, and then we shoot it from the front and Oz is gone. The guy who can barely walk, he's gone, his car's gone, all the cops are coming in. I'm like, couldn't we just had him shuffle to the side and be like, I got you?
Come back so many waddles away. He's still like far away in the shot.
He's like, he's rolling in the dirt right now. You see him like army crawling away, trying to get away.
I hear you, Greg, and it's from a semantics argument that is 100%
just semantics.
annoying. But I will say this shot I think is the prettiest shot in the whole series. That just profile shot of her,
That
and the
blind
camera
twilight.
it kind of pans over, and then you have those beautiful like bokeh in the background, and she just closes her eyes, and then a light, and you're like, okay, she's dead. Oh, it's a searchlight. And then you remember, oh, what a great way he needed a scapegoat, so he had to pin all this shit on her.
It's brilliant, man. About like 10 minutes or so into this finale, I was like, oh, she's going to end up in Arkham. She's not going to die. And then throughout the episode, they convinced me I was wrong about thinking that. And so by the time they get to the end and it happened, I was like, God damn, this is so good. Like that to me is the best, where it's like you see something coming, but then they swerve you and then it happens. And it's just so great because I'm happy they didn't kill her, man. Like her being still there and also her ending up in Arkham is just such a tragic end for this character.
Don't do what Marvel does. Don't kill off every villain that's ever been good. We want to see more of this character, obviously. I also just love the moments of her noticing him with his smirk in this little deal, in this exchange of him noticing like, oh shit, something's off here. Loved that. But yeah, this whole reveal was one of those where when those searchlights pop up on her, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. Like I love the way they revealed that. I agree with Greg that you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit.
I think there's some fun, kind of on the nose, but fun foreshadowing too, where he goes, I'll see you in hell. She goes, I'll save you a seat. And then where does she wind up? In Arkham.
Oh, yeah.
So you're like, all right.
It's
there
great.
we are.
Very cool.
And then, of course,
Oz and Vic visit Frances to celebrate, only to learn she's entered a vegetative state causing Oz to break down. Deciding that Vic has seen too much, Oz betrays and murders Vic. Awesome scene. They're having the connection. They're drinking the whiskey, whatever it is, and then just when he puts it's like, wait a second, are they gonna? Oh shit, they are, and they did it.
Brutal.
Just chokes him out, kills him right there.
And
Takes his ID,
he had
throws it in the water.
a certain reaction to Vic being like, yeah, my family dying too. Like he had this look on his face of like Vic is just trying to relate to him in this moment, and he has this. He shoots a glance back of like, I'm gonna kill you right now. Like it sucks that you feel this way, but I need to tie up some loose ends,
100%. Meanwhile, Rush, who has returned to Arkham to care for Sophia, hands her a letter from her half-sister, Selena Kyle. Again, something that I'm sure anybody who would have watched The Batman would remember, but I kind of forgot because I've seen a million things and don't remember. It was cool when I'm going back and watching The Batman to see Falcone try to kill her and choke her. Where I was like, oh, he's the hangman. That's his whole fucking MO. He pins Selena Kyle down and starts choking her. I was like, damn, they were doing that. And I was like, oh, well, it's just neat. It's a neat little through line that I did not, think about when it was introduced here. And we didn't even talk about the recasting because of a conflict in schedule. Both Falcones are great or whatever.
I don't think it was that.
No, he turned it down because of the violence towards women.
Which is ridiculous.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
That's what
I totally saw an article that was a quote that was one of the producers being like, "Oh, it was a conflict."
Yeah,
we would have loved to have had him.
He was on quote, he was quoted saying, "I turned her down ultimately because I didn't really like the violence towards women."
Huh.
But then you think about the Batman.
No, but I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I think he just didn't like it.
When he did the Batman, he
Got it.
did a lot of violence towards women, and he's like, I don't want to do more of that. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't like the vibe that it was,
I respect that.
That makes sense, yeah. This is so cool, though.
I mean, shout out to Mark Strong because he's fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's still good.
Yeah, but I mean, setting up Selena Kyle and Sophia here, it's like, that was
Team
just
up.
so sick. And like,
What do you think the letter says? She smiles. What do you think she's? What do you?
I think it was one of those cool moments in Batman where it's like 5 pages, and the first one says 5, and the next one says 4, and then it's 3, 2, and then an explosion.
Oh,
happens.
you think the message was the bomb?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Would've
I
been
was like,
cool.
watch out.
I think she made the hockey team.
Oh
Honestly.
my
All
god,
right, you guys
think
suck.
so?
I hate
It's a
you.
reference
I won't
to
even
Inside
ask
Out
questions.
too.
Hey, Greg, you
Fuck.
should do all the
Oz
interviews.
takes the vegetative state Frances to a new penthouse suite where she has one tear. You know, I assume
my
she's
God.
she's aware that this sucks, and Oz is aware she wants to die, and he says, "I won't let you because you did this thing to me, but I'm gonna still be nice. Seem like I'm nice to you? Fucking crazy." And then he goes down and dances with Eve, who's dressed as Francis, and says a bunch of stuff to him. And he's wearing a tuxedo, and he's got the hat too, which is cool because, of course, the councilman, who they don't mention in this, who's the guy from the suits guy from Entourage, he was like, "You got to dress the part if you want to hang out with us." And he starts dressing the part. It's fucking cool as fuck. It's fucking cool as fuck. And then he goes down there, yeah. And Eve's there, and she's all dressed like mom and acts like mom, and it's really fucking creepy and disgusting. And then they pan out the window, and the bat signal happens.
Come
Like,
on.
yes,
Well, yeah, she
fucking
says this. He's
show.
like, tell me I did good. Tell me you're proud of me. Tell me like whatever. She goes, there's no one that can stand in your way now. And as it pans over, you see the fucking bat signal.
It's just the
light up
coolest
the
thing ever.
sky.
Man.
God, it's sick.
So
you
damn
know that
sick.
somebody had that ending in mind the
Oh,
second
for
they
sure.
started writing this. So like,
Absolutely.
this is what we're building up to, and it fucking.
I mean,
works.
dude, how amazing that this show can happen without Robert Pattinson, and none of us are complaining at all.
I mean,
it didn't have the
for
Batman.
the first
That's cool.
couple episodes when they'd show the city, I was like, I do wish this had Batman in it, but I'm glad they didn't. Obviously, I'm glad they committed to with the vision of this because it worked.
The one thing I would have liked to have seen, not Pattinson, but I would have loved a Commissioner Gordon cameo.
Mhm.
If at some
Yeah.
point, even just in passing, you know what I mean, Gordon bumps in or says something or whatever.
I mean, he's always on HBO. His lineage is HBO. You know, Jeffrey Wright.
I'm
Yeah.
glad they didn't though, because again, he's such a strong character and such like a level character in
Yeah.
this that if they had shown it, I'd be like, where the fuck is he? Why is he not in the middle of this gang warfare that is destroying this city and all these drugs?
I wish we had him just so that we could do another installation of I'm Gonzo for Gordo.
Yep, we
You know?
did miss out on that.
Yeah,
did.
we missed out on RaGu Alf, where we have to rank the Alfreds. We also missed out on Cat Scratch Fever.
Luckily, though, Timothy,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't miss out on Gotham's finest.
Nope.
Secret delights. Ladies, gentlemen, NBs, it's time for a little thing we call Gotham's finest secret delights, where we talk about the favorite little thing we enjoyed. Our list is not numbered, but it goes like this. In Batman 66, Joey and Gia liked Catwoman's Russian costume and Adam West's small nipples.
They're
We all
tiny.
liked the soundtrack from Prince in 89. Tim loved the Penguin Army. There
So
you go,
sick.
Nick. It was there. It's on the record.
I'm sorry.
I like
When it comes to the Phantasm, Kevin
Damn
liked
it,
the
don't
motorcycle
confuse me.
designs. Andy liked Alfred's stash, and I liked the Batman Forever. Everybody liked Drew Barrymore. JK, just Kevin and Andy. Batman and Robin, head boobs for Gia and Joey they were a fan from the Poison Ivy thing when she had the head
Oh,
boobs on.
yeah.
No, the head boobs. Yeah.
The Gorilla Dance for Kevin. And Catwoman, we all liked the music by Klaus. That's what it says.
Oh yeah, that's the DJ. DJ Klaus.
Is it awful?
For Batman Begins, there's a lot of stuff. Nick liked the ninja suits. Andy liked Thomas's face at the death. The training montage for Tim, the humor for Tim, and Lucius Fox for everybody. We all liked Eric Roberts in The Dark Knight. In Dark Knight Rises, we liked JGL, Catwoman's ears for Tim. Andy liked the old cop. Then in Lego Batman, we liked the other villains if you're Tim, Michael Cera for Nick, and the runtime for Andy. In the Joker, we all liked Lee Gill's performance as Gary. For the Batman, Tim liked that this shit's like the trailer. And then
It
of
is.
course, Joker 2, I really appreciated Lee Gill's performance as Gary, and so did a lot of other people. And then Zazie Beetz returning was a high point for Tim. What's our secret delight for the Penguin?
I mean, it's not a secret, but I just feel like Kristen Milioti deserves the top spot.
mullet.
Here, right?
I'll say
She's
the mullet.
delight. Okay, I'm just with Sophia, but Nick specifically the mullet.
Yeah.
What if we were able to come in here, say the performances? Because I feel like hers is great, but we haven't really talked enough, I think, about Colin Farrell.
Or the
Where-
mom too. I mean, they
Yeah.
both did great.
It's that idea where for Colin Farrell, like there were so many times I'm watching this trying to see Colin Farrell, and I
Right.
just couldn't do
Yeah.
it. Where I just couldn't see him. And I think that goes so far. Not to mention, the mom, who's fantastic. Even Vic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm with you there.
But I do think I think that we should just put the mullet.
And yeah,
I'm putting it here.
thank
The
you.
mullet is more in the spirit of what Secret Delight is, you know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah.
It goes along with the whole like transformation of Sophia by
Mhm.
the end of it.
I liked her little scarf situation.
Yeah, a little scarf situation
Her little
was
final outfit. That was a secret
that was
delight.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
That had to have been a reference, right?
I don't know.
To like a
I mean, it was a reference to the fact that she's a bombshell. Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? I think the kids call it the kids call it serving cunt, and that was what she was.
God damn.
Wow.
No.
that just demonetized this video.
Holy
I need you all to
shit.
know
It had to
this.
be said. It was worth
That
it. I'm
just
sorry, team. I think we'll be
demonetized.
fine without the
God.
$1.15, Andy. It needed to be said that this woman ate the entire time in this final. You're like, how is your final outfit your best outfit?
Yeah.
I loved it.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong, everybody. I'm sad to say. Now, what else do we got going on? We got because
Little
there
thing
is
we call.
well, there's best Batmobile, which I don't think we need to rank his dope ass purple Penguin mobile, but like, it was cool. Just
The
want to give
dope
a shout out.
purple
Just want to
Maserati
give
was
the
pretty sick.
nod to it. But yeah, let's get to it.
RaGu BaGu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys, aka RaGu BaGu, because this is the Batman Rogues Gallery. We rank the best villains, or the villains from best to worst. Currently, there are 13 people on our list. They go like this: number 1, in the Dark Knight, Joker and Two-Face. Number 2, the Joker and the Joker. Number 3, 89, Batman's Joker. Number 4, Raz and Scarecrow and Begins. Number 5, the Riddler and the Batman. Number 6, Bane and Rises. Number 7, Phantasm. The Phantasms, Joker and Phantasm. Number 8, Batman Returns as Max, Penguin, and Catwoman. Number 9, Batman and Robin in Batman and Robin. Number 10, Batman Forever's Riddler and Two-Face. Number 11, Lego Batman's Joker. Number 12, 1966's Catwoman, Riddler, Joker, and Penguin. Number 13, Todd Phillips in the Joker 2. Now, there's a parentheses here if you don't remember from a few weeks ago. It goes, Todd Phillips, Joker 2, parentheses, FYI, this is because he's really bad, not really good, according to Tim. So we were in the... Also, we were the Wiener Boys in this. So if there is a number 3, we have to be the Winery Boys. I'm sorry, it was the Wiener. I'm sorry, it was the Wiener Bros, not the Wiener Boys. End parentheses. I believe that was a verbatim reading of what Nick gave me when
Thank
we were
you. Thank
doing
you
it.
thank you for being very accurate with that.
I
Greg.
still never
Anytime.
saw this movie.
Joker 2.
Shout out to Joey for stepping in for
You
me.
also missed the Wiener Boys, so Wiener Bros.
I feel like I didn't miss much.
God damn. I want to say I feel like for this it is Oz and Sophia, and
Yeah.
I would put them at number 2 underneath Joker and Two-Face. I do think that it's pretty close, but at the end of the day, Joker and Two-Face I feel are just so damn good, and specifically they're bad guys with a good guy to face off against, and I think that that's incredible stuff. Whereas this, like, they are just antagonistic forces towards each other.
I agree.
I agree. I agree, Vic. I don't think they were the worst, but I'd put them maybe at number 2.
What's your favorite sort of sausage?
I'd probably go with Bravo. No, I'd probably go with the worst.
The voice.
Because if it's a 2-syllable, it doesn't work. I've already understood that.
You can't say bratwurst.
No, you can. I just did it.
Holy shit.
Oh, we got there.
All right, everybody. Now it's time to rank the Batman universe of movies and this TV show in particular. The rankings currently are as follows. At number 1, Roger, do you have the thing to pull up on the screen? There we go. No problem at all. Number 1, we have The Dark Knight. Number 2, we have Batman Begins. Number 3, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 4, The Batman. Number 5, Batman 89. Number 6, Lego Batman. Number 7, Joker. 8, Mask of the Phantasm. 9, Batman Returns. 10, Batman Forever. 11, Batman and Robin. 12, Batman 66. 13, Catwoman. And 14, Joker Folie à Deux. So I want to start this one off. And like I said earlier, it's a little tough for me because I wish that I had the Batman fresh in my mind. But not having it fresh in my mind, I feel like this is better than the Batman, but under Dark Knight Rises. So I would go at number 4, the Penguin.
I think I'm close to that. I still feel like I overall enjoyed the Batman more. And I think a lot of that also just has to do with, like, even though this movie looked or this show looked like it was made well, to me, it was still missing that cinematography. It was missing those every frame of painting type moments, and like that goes really, really far for me when we talk about the shot from the top down where he's walking through the flood water with the people following him, or any shot where they are in front of like that orange Gotham sky. Like this was a lot of like memorable moments there, and I also just love Robert Pattinson's performance.
And jumping off that, I do think that the show, we missed some color, and I was first reminded of that when we get the credit scene for the first time at the end of this episode of the finale, where we actually get the reason the credits were so long. Like we get that whole motion graphics thing, and like, seeing the characters with a bunch of colors, I was like, oh, this feels like the Batman type coloring. So yeah, I'm with you there.
I would put this over Batman 89 underneath the Batman at number 5.
Yeah, it's an interesting one where you know how much I dislike The Dark Knight Rises. So I want to I like this more than that, but it's an interesting one again where this makes me appreciate the Batman more. Like this is making me enjoy that Batman viewing so much more than I did those first 2 times. I think just based on hype. And I think, Tim, you said it really eloquently in the beginning where you were talking about like going into that, what we thought it was going to be based on those trailers, that it was going to be this like, holy shit, this could be the best Batman movie of all time. But anyways, I digress. I think I'd put it underneath the Batman as well. I'd put Penguin at number 5, right underneath the Batman, right above Batman 89.
Nikki.
Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing. I want to put it below 89 just because I want. Oh wow, he's got your name on his hand now. That means you're on his kill list. I want 89 to be higher on this list, obviously, but I think when you juxtapose those two, I do think I enjoyed the Batman overall as an experience a little bit more than this, so I'd put it number 5 as well.
And that's where it goes then, everybody. Number 5, we have The Penguin. And there we go. Fun stuff all around.
Good
Next
show, man.
week, yeah, what a show. Next week, oh God, there it is. There it is.
It says Tim I am. There it is.
Tim I am, everyone. Next week, we are going to embark on a new in review journey, a very special one because I have never seen this movie, Gladiator. In review begins. And we'll be doing Gladiator and then Gladiator 2. That's coming out to theaters very, very shortly. I'm very excited for this. Nick, do you think I'm going to like them?
I think you're gonna love him.
Yeah?
I really do. Yeah,
Exciting stuff.
Gladiator's rad.
But until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.
Greg wanted to rank this doid.